Thank you, Mr. Clausen. Next delegation is Jim Jaworski, also in opposition to item 1, report A of the Executive Policy Committee. Mr. Jaworski, you've got 5 minutes.
All right. Good morning, councillors. Watch what happened to our downtown area now that the underclass have become the overwhelming majority of the people on its streets. We can now see a visible loss of professionals who are most likely to spend money at downtown shops than ask for it on the streets as we have now. I used to remember 25 years ago when I was a teenager, when I visited downtown to go to the library, to Eaton Place, and to Winnipeg Square. Now we have a downtown mall, Portage Place, where the security guards wear bulletproof vests. The underclass and unemployed use it as some sort of shelter from the elements and from each other. Last couple of years, there have been stabbing, shootings, and people stealing others' backpacks just outside the mall. There are scant any middle class or upper class shoppers there. If I had a family, I wouldn't even let my kids go to the mall. Truth hurts, doesn't it? What makes Portage Place different from the other downtown shopping centers like Toronto's Eaton Centre or Vancouver's Pacific Centre is what it lacks here. Rail rapid transit, a subway or SkyTrain, that's what. I've seen it and I've ridden it for myself. Perhaps it's time to consider demolishing Portage Place and putting in new ordinary retail storefronts that don't have a mall element. How does this fit into the proposals for extension to the Kildonan corridor, widenings of St. Anne's Road and McGilvery? It does, because not having an investment in mass transit system for Winnipeg, because by not investing in a mass transit system for Winnipeg, you're jeopardizing the very economic well-being of our city. The so-called environmentalists who like to favor bus rapid transit, they say, no, Winnipeg doesn't need the LRT or subway. They say we can't afford it. What they're really saying, and this is anecdotal evidence brought on from more than 2 years discussion on the newwinnipeg.com and skyscraperpage.com, is that they don't want Winnipeg to grow quickly. It might hurt them in some way. Maybe they'll get stressed out and dream of living in the country with some scenery that's code for mountains, or something like that. Basically, they're anti-urbanist and anti-progressive, the complete opposite of what they say their values are. The Wilson Subway Plan, on the other hand, was written a long time ago, yes, but it is still a valid plan for moving Winnipeggers out of the 1950s and into the 21st century, as far as mass transit is concerned. How many of the councillors have read it? It should be adopted as the plan for Winnipeg. So in effect, we really don't need another $300,000 consultant study as to why people don't use the bus. We already know why. They're too slow, and a BRT does nothing but serve Sprawlville, which is what Waverly West will turn out to be. An underground subway line running under the streets of Winnipeg would put back the life into downtown Winnipeg and help move commuters from other parts of Winnipeg to and from work. At the same time that the shovels were to go into the ground for a Winnipeg subway, it would begin to pay for itself through tax increment financing, where the value of land would increase tax revenues, and that is something that government is always talking about, spreading the tax base rather than narrowing it. Our population would then rise within 10 years from 615,000 to over 1 million. Wow. Suddenly people would come to Winnipeg and say what a beautiful city you have and how easy it is to get around on your subway. The middle class would return to Winnipeg in droves. I leave it up to you to decide our fate. Thank you.
Thank you. No questions. Thank you, Mr. Jaworski. The following delegations will be heard.